All right, athletes, if you are running into a situation where you're not exactly sure what CP means, CP stands for critical power or critical pace. The number, so CP 90, means the duration. So when I ask you to do intervals, say at CP 90, I'm asking you to do the best power or the best effort. You should just substitute the CP for that, the best power or the best effort that you could do for 90 minutes. Now, most people never test a 90-minute test because it would be mentally painful. But what you can do is every time you double the duration, subtract 5% from your output. So we do a CP30 test, or at least we will. And so when you go from CP30, for example, to CP60, you can subtract 5%. If you go from CP30 to 90, you would subtract 7.5% because you're doubling it once and then half again, right? So that's a general rule of thumb for your CP zones, all right? The other thing is you'll notice here that we have the bricks, and I don't care too if during the long days you break it up a little bit. So if you don't want to do 2 or 3 hours straight at a certain thing, go ahead and do 4x15s or 3x20s or 6x20 minutes or something like that. It's fine if you want to break that up a little bit. Or if you want to do some, I would recommend that figure out exactly what your course is going to look like. If you have, starting out flat and then getting into some hills, do the first few or the first part on the flat and then do the middle part on some hills and then finish up on the flat. So replicate the race as much as you can in terms of terrain and start getting used to that. The other question that I get a lot is, do I mind if you train on a road bike? Honestly, I train on my road bike a few times a week. It never really seems to be an issue for me. If you think it's an issue for you, obviously don't do that. But most people aren't going to have a problem, especially if they're fit well on their bikes, which brings me to my next thing. Make sure you're fit well on your bike. So now is the time to make sure your fit is dialed in. If you had a fit 3 years ago and it worked then, your flexibility and strength might change, or maybe you have a different bike. Dial it in. Make sure that you are all set. And you should have been working on your base nutrition in your base phase. Hopefully you have that dialed in. If you don't, you really need to get on that now. And this is the time to start dialing in your race nutrition and the things that you will be using for your race. So again, we have resources for you to kind of check out our opinions on that. I don't care. A lot of people will ask me what to do, and then I tell them, and then they'll want to just tell me what they do because they have a better idea. I don't care. If it works for you, do it. But now is the time to start getting that dialed in and making sure that you are all set for that. I'll see everybody in week 3.